This is what the Israeli army left behind after a 3-day raid on Palestinian territory in the occupied West Bank. The military used bulldozers to wreck Palestinian property and carve up roads in Tul Karam. And we've seen this bulldozer strategy used more and more against Palestinians since the start of the Gaza war on October 7. In places like Jenin, Ramallah, and Nablus, all in the occupied West Bank. So why does Israel do this, and why does it matter? I spoke to a rights expert for their take on it.
The attack on infrastructure is part of the creation of what is called a coercive environment. So you have your home, but you don't have water, you don't have electricity, you don't have the road to get to and from your school and work and so on. And so you're continuously thinking that it's better for you to leave.
During April's raid in the Nur al-Shams refugee camp in Tul Karam, 14 Palestinians were killed. Israeli forces say they were carrying a counter-terrorism operation.
Why Israel is doing this is because it's an apartheid regime with the intent of basically having the land without the indigenous society on it.
Apartheid is a crime against humanity under international law. Leading human rights groups say that is what Israel is inflicting on Palestinians in a host of different ways, and the bulldozers play a role in them. Here are just a few: keeping Palestinians at a social and an economic disadvantage, segregating Jewish Israelis from Palestinians enforced by military control, fragmenting Palestinian areas into small pockets of land, and dispossessing their land and property. But apartheid is not the only accusation. Rights advocates say the bulldozer strategy is collective punishment, and international law says you can't punish others for a crime or alleged crime they didn't commit.
Israel is in violation of much of the international law system, and collective punishment is part and parcel of this. So while in the West Bank, for example, you have the bulldozing and the destruction of basic infrastructure, including water wells, roads, sewage systems, and so on, in Palestinian communities in the Naqab, it's the prevention of being able to have access to any of this infrastructure. So you find villages without electricity, without schools, without roads, without water. And the other form is, of course, home demolitions. The settlement enterprise is a weapon here that is used by apartheid Israel to fulfill then the intention of complete domination and erasure of Palestinians from their lands.
Israel denies allegations of breaching international law and rejects the charge of apartheid. But Palestinians say Israel has used its war on Gaza as cover for atrocities taking place in the occupied West Bank. Last year saw the highest rate of demolitions in 14 years. At least 2,000 people were displaced. In nearly 7 months, Israeli forces and settlers killed more than 480 Palestinians there. Raids have also been happening on most nights, and more than 8,000 Palestinians have been arrested.
How it's able to do this is because of international complicity by states, institutions, and corporations. This is also a risk to the entire system of international law that has been put in place since the Second World War. By allowing an apartheid regime that is currently carrying out a genocide to continue without any semblance of accountability of justice, this of course has the impact on people's lives first and foremost, but it's also threatening this entire and very fragile system of international law to completely collapse.